Hi, welcome to my digital Lego city. It's not real, it's digital. In this episode, I'm continuing to work on the Canal Street area by adding a large office building with loading docks right across from the warehouses. I started off by wanting to build an eatery of some sort for the workers in the neighborhood. Some sort of fast food, not a national chain, but something run down and local. Something that looks like it's been there for a while. That particular day, I had a craving for tacos and was like, that's what's going to be there then. A taco joint. So, sketching some things out, the building was going to be at least 3 stories with the second and third floors being more like offices or workshop spaces. So around 9 or so bricks high, rather than the 15 or more high ceilings of the warehouses. And the first floor will be filled out with garage doors and loading docks. The primary color of the building is white, or very light gray, with gray highlights. This was primarily to give some distinction from the earth tone colors of the 2 first warehouses. I wanted the restaurant on the first floor nestled within the rest of the building, but I didn't want the whole thing to look like a plain box, so I carved out the restaurant section with no floors above it, just some vents and other bits poking out. Time to start. The look of the building exterior is going to mimic painted brick, or perhaps brick with some outer stucco coating. I mainly used 2x1 white or very light gray bricks, sprinkling in masonry bricks as accents to break up the surface and add some texture. Light gray bricks and tiles are scattered here and there to add subtle highlights. In a few spots, I swapped them out for plates of different shapes to mimic cracks, giving a worn-in texture. From the onset, I had in mind to use 2x4 large windows, 2 of them side by side. Each section is divided by a 2 brick wide column that runs down the side. Dividing each floor is a 1 wide light gray tile that wraps around the building. The eatery is going to be a bit of a hodgepodge of colors, with dark red as the primary color to help it stand out from the rest of the building. For an additional splash of colors, I made the window awning orange and yellowish, and used a couple stickers specifically for the lime green sign on the top and another for the logo. Because of the cutout shape of the building, I put vents and an air intake directly above the restaurant. Windows line the interfacing walls of the cutout, with these 2 windows having an awning to provide some shade. I can foresee trash occasionally falling out the windows and onto the awning, just accumulating junk over time and never cleared. Roof access comes through a door where workers can catch some fresh air and enjoy their lunch break. Right beside the eatery, a dark and damp alleyway serves as one of the main entrances to the building, with the main stairwell just above it. On both sides of the building, I kept the same window style, but added an accent of yellow pipes climbing up the walls. There is also more pipework near the base, adding some extra detail. The front of the building has some nice details, but I was worried that the back might end up pretty boring. So early on, I decided that the 2 main features of the back would be a garage door for rail access and a ladder system to serve as a fire escape, just to give the rear some character and purpose. To break up the flat walls, large vents crawl their way across the back of the building, just adding to the gritty industrial vibe. Looks like someone plastered newspaper all over the windows to provide some shade. In the last office I worked at, a coworker actually did this. They got so fed up with the bright light coming through the window, they actually covered up one of the window panels with newspaper, and the office manager wasn't so impressed. But it worked. They installed proper blinds shortly afterwards. This building has a lot of roof details. I did this because the white building is slightly smaller than the large warehouses across the street, so you'll be mostly looking down onto this building. That, and I just like building rooftop details. I built a vent system that snakes its way across the roof that ties in with the vertical vents along the building's side. It all converges at a cluster of complex-looking HVAC equipment near the middle of the roof. Great vantage point for the boss, able to see who's on lunch, or taking more than their 15 minutes of break time. Since I built everything in Bricklink Studio, I decided to put this I/O file available for download for free if you're interested in taking a closer look on how things were built for yourself. Because it's all built in Bricklink Studio and not real physical pieces, I can't make any guarantees on how structurally stable the building is, so it's mainly for you to look at and take any ideas and inspiration from. I put the download link in the description box below. I decided to build out the interior of the eatery. There's a small seating area since most of the orders are likely takeout, and a washroom tucked in the corner. Behind the counter, there's nothing fancy, a worn-out commercial stove, and a taco assembly station. I took some inspiration for the kitchen interior from the builder Woodos. He has a pretty cool Instagram and builds some really nice looking building interiors. The drinks fridge here is a modified version of a tutorial I followed on YouTube. Links in the description box below. That's it for today's update. This area is starting to fill in nicely, and I really like the vibe, especially when a train rolls down the tracks. Next, I'm planning to add buildings along the curb down the road with a couple more switches and a divergent spur that leads right into this warehouse. So that'll be interesting to build. Thanks for watching.